Prince Andrew told move out of Royal Lodge for sake of two royals crucial to monarchy. A columnist has suggested that Prince Andrew should vacate Royal Lodge for the benefit of his daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, who have already been stung. During a chat with Sky News Australia, News Corp columnist Angela Mollard expressed her views on the ongoing disagreement between the Duke of York and King Charles over the occupancy of the £30 million royal mansion. King Charles has reportedly encouraged his brother to leave the Windsor Estate property and move into more modest lodgings amid claims that Andrew has been finding it difficult to cover the £400,000 a year maintenance costs. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. The interview was posted on the same day as the release of a three-part series, A Very Royal Scandal, about Andrew's infamous 2019 Newsnight interview, the Daily Express reports. Sky News Australia host Gabriella Power and Angela discussed the Duke's memorable one-liners, including what Gabriella referred to as his assertion that he never sweats. This led Angela to talk about the Duke's living situation. Angela stated, yes, and that he'd been to Pizza Express with his daughter and look, well, I've written a piece on the fact that on the back of this coming out today, it really is time that Prince Andrew moved out of Royal Lodge. It's a 30-room house. He's been offered Frogmore Cottage, which was of course where Meghan and Harry used to live, and my argument that is he has to do it on behalf of his daughters. They've already been stung by this. If William comes to power, let's say Charles becomes more sick and William comes to power prematurely while his children are still young, he is going to need his cousins, among them Beatrice and Eugenie, as well as the Tyndalls, Zara Tyndall, to be alongside him. She went on to say, we saw that at Royal Ascot earlier this year, because Kate was out of action, because the King was out of action, he pulled in his cousins, and I think even though the current monarch wants a more slimmed-down monarchy, William may well need to have more support in the ranks. Andrew signed a 75-year lease on the mansion in 2003, which means Charles doesn't have the legal grounds to evict his brother. However, the King has reportedly been eager to stop his funding for security on the estate. The Duke, who leased the property in 2004, is hesitant to move out and reportedly had plans to pass the house on to his daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie. Meanwhile, despite the nature of a very royal scandal, friends of Prince Andrew recently told the Daily Beast that it has been a great relief that it appears to have sunk without trace. Speaking about the new Amazon series, a friend of King Charles said, people writing films and books about His Majesty and his family is something he is well used to. He won't have watched it. It's water off a duck's back to him. Prince Andrew was read riot act by Prince Philip and Charles after nightmare interview. Prince Andrew was once ordered to stop carrying out royal engagements by Prince Philip, it has been reported. The late Queen's husband, who was 98 years old at the time, had retired from royal duties but was still the patriarch of the family. Advising his son on how to handle the Jeffrey Epstein scandal was described as one last family intervention he was keen to execute himself, royal expert Tina Brown wrote in her 2022 book The Palace Papers, the Daily Mail reports. Andrew had been summoned to Sandringham to meet with his father and explain his side of things after his disastrous interview with the BBC's Emily Maitlis on Newsnight. The meeting resulted in the late Duke of Edinburgh asking his son to step down from his royal duties. Andrew's Newsnight encounter has been dramatised in the new Amazon Prime show A Very Royal Scandal, which stars Michael Sheen as the Prince and Ruth Wilson as Ms. Maitlis and was released last Thursday. An insider at the royal estate previously told the Daily Telegraph, there was no screaming or shouting. Philip told him in no uncertain terms that he had to step down for the sake of the monarchy. Philip doesn't like trial by the media, but he's realistic enough to realise that Andrew's actions were a danger to the very fabric of the royal family. They described the conversation as tense and that Philip had told Andrew he had to take his punishment. King Charles, then the Prince of Wales and heir to the throne, used the situation as an opportunity to demonstrate his power in the family too. He had been increasing his number of public engagements while the Queen gradually reduced hers. Charles reportedly read the Riot Act to his younger brother after summoning him to a meeting at the royal estate after returning from a trip to New Zealand. He told Andrew there was no way back into the family in the near future and echoed Philip's request for him to step down from public duties. A source previously told The Sun, "It was all very civilized and calm, but Charles calmly read him the Riot Act and told him there was no way back for him in the near future." Andrew thought he was being treated harshly as nothing has yet been proved against him, but he accepted the decision. He really had little choice. Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson's family living room we never see. The Duke and Duchess of York reside at Royal Lodge at Windsor. Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson might have divorced almost 30 years ago, but the Duke and Duchess of York continue to share a close bond, and the former couple live together at Royal Lodge, a £30 million property in the heart of Windsor Great Park in Berkshire. Prince Andrew and Sarah, both 64, have lived at the royal residence since 2004 when his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II, granted the Duke to lease to the property the year prior, under the expectation that renovations would be undertaken to repair, renew, uphold, clean and keep in repair and where necessary rebuild the home. More recently, Andrew's brother, King Charles, is said to be applying pressure on him to vacate the property and instead move to nearby residency, Frogmore Cottage, the former home of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Royal Lodge, a 19th-century Grade II listed building, sits on 90 acres of land and has more than 30 rooms, including 7 bedrooms and a saloon. But we rarely get a glimpse inside the home. One room we never get to see is their family living room. One photo from inside the private royal residency shows how palatial the lounge rooms are at Royal Lodge. There are numerous sofas scattered around the room which are draped in green, pink and red paisley patterns. The room also boasts an enormous Persian-style rug in order to add soft furnishings and comfort underfoot. The ceilings are sky-high and the walls leading up to the room have been kept traditional with arched panels, making way for hanging portraits and paintings. Meanwhile, an enormous chandelier hangs from the ceiling, adding even more glamour and a touch of royalty. Though it's likely that Prince Andrew and Sarah, Duchess of York, who are parents to Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, have updated the interiors and decor, it's certainly likely that the traditional elements including its regal style have remained to ensure the home holds on to its authenticity. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments, and most importantly don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.